Okay, bit of a demo then. So if you send a Makita in like this for a repair, you can probably see it there. Totally ruined. Happens quite a lot in the Makita ones. But that little yellow tab that needs replacing, this is what we do. Now we've got sick of all the different types of aftermarket boards you can get, and none of them actually fit. You can see here all the different types. It drives you mad. If you look at the connectors and the different shapes and sizes, none of these fit. You have to actually make the case fit. And that's no good. You have to start snipping bits off, trying to make them fit, and then when people get them at home, they basically say that the board's moved and doesn't work again, and you have to change it. So what we've started doing is actually just swapping the whole thing into a new pack. So they come with cases that actually fit, and that's what we do. So before we'll actually do this, we'll check these cells are still good and actually worth moving over, and then we'll crack on and do that. I am going to be experimenting using a rework station and some little yellow connectors that I've got on the way. Might be easier, but you still have to take the board off. You still have to then solder them on the back. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to test it, see what happens, but I think this is probably the preferred way. It's almost like people receive a new battery then. So all you do, same as with the other stuff, you just heat these little connectors up and we can get this board off. A few down each side, and then there's the bigger ones at the ends which normally play me up the most. You have to put quite a lot of heat on here, so you've just got to be really careful, knowing there's a cell underneath and you're actually heating up a bit of metal that's connected to the ends of the cells, so you've just got to really be careful. Don't leave it on there too long. Now when you get them both off, it comes off like this, which is good. And then we're going to work on these cells. Now if you look at these boards, as I mentioned, look, when you try and connect these, you can see the one on the top left is nowhere near, and the front, it was actually off the edge. Same with this one, it's actually the wrong shape. So you could make it fit, but it's just not really permanent. It's going to cause the user all sorts of issues and aggro, and you can see there the sort of angle that is. It's just not going to fit. So what we do then is we take all these little tabs off the side, and they're all connected to the cells, and then we can get the cells out. So I'll just show you a little bit here. It's very obvious that the rest is going to be exactly the same to this. So pretty simple process. It looks quite slow here, but I'm just trying to be careful. There's no need to rush this sort of thing. So you can pop them off nicely. And the risk here as well is whenever you do this, you can actually pierce the bottom of the cells. If you pull it off too hard, or kind of like a tin opener if you like, it actually pops a little hole in the bottom of the cell, and then you've got to replace that cell. And that'd be on me, that'd be my fault then. So as I do it, I'm just being as careful as possible. There's no need to mess around. And whenever you do this, just bear in mind that the item next to it, the cell next to it, obviously these ones are a 4 if you like, but where that white bit is on the left there or at the bottom, you've just got to be careful not to touch that with this, because you're basically shorting them and you can cause a big spark then. So that's that open. A couple of screws inside holding this together, but then you can start getting these cells out. And what I do so I don't mix myself up is take one out, put it in here the correct way that it is, and then I'm not going to get confused then. I'll take all those little purple bits off just so that we're fully connected on the new one. They are kind of for protection on some of these, but they have got enough on there. They don't need any more. And it's just an extra spacer, if you like, that I don't need in that new pack. So I'll take all those off in a second. Get these the right way round. And then what we'll do is we'll clean all the ends up, and then that'll give us a really good surface then to spot weld in the future. Okay, that's the last one there. So take that off, whack that on, we'll get these off like I say, and then we'll get the little Dremel tool out and we'll clean those ends off. So they're all in there, and I didn't pop any, which is good. So we'll get as much of this metal off as we can, again without popping them. Hit the camera there, my bad. There we go. So most of that's off, so all I'm going to do is the final bit with this little Dremel tool. Just cleaning off the ends, that's all I'm doing here. Don't go too far, don't go too hard, because you'll cause some damage or blow your hand off. So fairly simple here, just giving it a bit of a clean off, polishing it almost, getting those little final bits of metal off. And I'm doing that because you need, as I said before, as flat a surface as possible to get a good connection. And we're going to spot weld some pre-made tabs on, which come as a pack. You can actually get these packs now in like a translucent see-through cover as well, which looks pretty good. But what I'm doing here is just a black for black, really. And I'll come back and take that bit of purple off there as well. This is on the other side at the bottom. So almost done here. Basically speaks for itself. I'm not going to show you all of those. Much too boring. Now this then is going to fit perfectly now because it comes as a kit. It's made for this particular case, and the tabs will fit perfectly in the side, and that's what we want. I've got another one on its way back to me that I'd done before, made a board fit, and it's already causing issues. I think it's only been with the person a week or two. So made a decision, going to go down this route from now on. Just makes more sense. We'll see what happens with the rework station and the connector itself. But to be honest, I think I'd rather just make sure it works like this. So I go over the top whenever I do this spot welding. Really don't want these to ever be disconnected. In theory, you should probably just put 2 on each side, as long as your spot welder's strong enough. But I keep this in auto. I don't really mess around with the settings, to be honest. Let it do its thing, work out what it needs to be. All I'm bothered about is, has it blown up and is it connected? That's really what I'm after here. And we're almost there. And this is making a really good connection. And I'm fairly confident it's not going to move at the end either. There we go. Couple more. And then I won't show you all of them because that'll take forever. You can see how long this one's taken, but you can see the process, and that's what I'm really just trying to show you. So on both sides there's a group of 4, another group of 4, and then there's a 2. So that's what we'll be doing. And the 2s are the ends, so the positive and negative. And they're all connected by being on sort of opposing sides. So where this is 2, the back of it there'll actually be the 1, and then the next 4 will be connected to this one and that one, if that makes any sense. But they're all connected basically. Okay, so next one along, we'll just do exactly the same thing, and then I'll skip out of this rather than just showing you all of this boring spot welding. So that's that then. Flip it over. We've done the other side. We'll now get this board on. Now, as I mentioned, those little legs are all in the perfect place now. So there's no worries about it not fitting or moving around or anything like that. And I can screw this down as well. So that's the problem with using these boards in the other pack. You can't even get the screws in. Sometimes you get one hole to line up, but a lot of the time it's just like a floating board in there. It's not good. So what I'll do, screw this down, and then I can solder those little legs on. Makes it nice and firm, then it's not going to move around while I'm soldering. Tiny little screws, there's just a couple of them on here. There we go, just line it up, and then we'll pop that one in at the front. If I can get my fat fingers in there, almost there. Right, so screw it down. Finger trouble here, here we go. That's where I should have magnetised the end first. And don't worry, it looks like that soldering iron is near my wrist, but it is a different height. Well, you'd see me screaming, hear me screaming. Right, so that one's nearly down. I made that look really difficult. So everything then is just about in place here, just making sure it's firm, which it is. So as I say, that's not going to move around now, and we can start soldering. And this is a process you've probably seen me do on other batteries from other manufacturers. It's all really, really similar, as you'd expect. All we're doing is connecting the cells to the board. Most of the different companies do it a very similar way. And you have to, really, don't you? All you're doing is lining these tabs up and soldering them down. So clean the end of this tip, give it a bit of a tin if you like. We'll get that on and then put a bit more on, which we generally need to sometimes, not in that case though. So we've got a good connection there. Smothered that joint if you like. Same here. So sometimes I'll use flux, other times I won't. This time I don't seem to need to, which is good. If the soldering iron's clean on the end and you've got a good solder, you don't always need to. I think these solders actually have a bit of flux inside as well. I think they're flux cored, so that does help. On the ends though, I do use flux paste. You've probably seen me do that before. Much simpler, trying to get these big connections on. So I just hold it down, heat this flux paste up. It basically turns to solder and makes a really good joint. Just like that. And then I'll go along the back side of it as well. And I tend to use this smaller end as well on this soldering iron for installation type stuff. Use the thicker one generally when I'm taking stuff off. So just making sure that that's fully connected there. We'll give it a test and you can see lights are on. So perfect, this is exactly what we want. I've got it in a board that fits, it's not going to move around, and that indicator works as well, which is really good. So we'll pop it in, get this back together, get that in the right place, just fits in the front there. Pop the spring on, don't forget the spring. Bit fiddly. Desk looks very dirty, doesn't it? Stuff everywhere. But that's how it is, unfortunately. Pop this on. We'll pop that little sticker on the indicator in a minute as well. But we just line this up. And one of the problems I have really with those other ones is when you come to do this, this is the bit that just doesn't fit. This is why I moved the pack over. Much more simple. So we'll screw it back together. We'll give it a good charge. And it should just work on a normal charger, because I think the voltage was a good 17.5-ish, so we're okay. And then I'll get that sent back out to the customer. Some of these have stickers. I am a bit wary, if you like, that this is going to look a little bit odd when they get it back. So I'm going to try and source some stickers with these as well. But that's it in a nutshell. So that's it. That works. Indicator works, and then we'll pop it on charge, and this is then as good as new. So here's the test, and there we go. So it is now charging, which is what we want. So I'll wait for that to finish, box it up and send it back.